Hello there, welcome back to Simon's Shed. It's time for another layout update on Severn Valley Railway, which is my N-gauge version of part of the Severn Valley Railway. So, coming up, the station's in place, another platform, and some little details. So yes, it's really good to be back in the shed for 2022. I have been making a bit of progress on the final section of version 1 of the layout. And yeah, we're not too far off, so let's take a look. So I've always round the layout. Nothing's changed up there. But traditional look round. We've again been concentrating on this area down at the Kidderminster Severn Valley end. And you can see lots of bits of paper everywhere, which I'll explain in a minute. And I think from here onwards nothing's changed, but let's go through what has. I guess the main thing is the station building is now stuck down. It's a bigger job than it might sound, because what I did was due to the sort of different levels of the ground at this point, I just stuck boards to the station first and then stuck the whole thing down, and I've sort of cut in a line there to blend it in, and it just helps in as much as there's no gaps under here, for example, because there's a board stuck directly, just a 1mm grey board cardboard stuck directly to the model. And obviously I've done a new floor surface for there, and on the edge bits I've cut it into the pavement shape and put the pavement texture on. Still not decided where to put that yet. The newsagent stand, try and find somewhere that you can actually see it. A lot of fiddly bits of work around here. Quite pleased with the sort of central line road markings, just drawn with the acrylic pen, and managed to find something the right sort of curvature to mark out the this curve with the protractor. Not so pleased with some of the other ones. This sort of hatching is not too bad. I might leave that, I might redo it. Managed to find a floor texture that looks more like cobbles, because there is a difference. As you turn into that bit, it goes into cobbles in the entrance, so I've added that in. And all of these sort of fiddly bits of pavement and walkway. And I had a go at the zebra crossings by hand, again with the acrylic pens. Didn't turn out great, so as you can see I've printed out from the Scale Scenes Roads and Pavements kit some zebra crossings. I'm just going to stick those over the top. I think they will look better. And then yeah, just carrying on this way. Hence all of the little bits of cardboard are to remind me that's where the footbridge goes over the lines. We've got disabled parking bays, we've got longitudinal parking that way. We've got a yellow hatched area here, we've got a gate coming through, red brick wall, red and blue brick wall, and the fence all along here. That carries on. Then we've got a few conifer trees here, so this is all fenced off, and we've got various sort of shed type buildings here. I thought I was done building platforms, but obviously there is one there, because you know, you wouldn't have people walking out of here and then dropping off the end of the station walkway there. So yeah, another platform to build. Not sure last time whether I actually showed you the final bit on the station, which was just sticking the posters on, but You can see them there. They do make a difference. Finally got my biffer bins in place at the end there. So let's carry on and see what jobs we can do next. Right, I have done a little bit more, but also another little side project. Just to make it a little bit safer in here, we have replaced the plug sockets with ones that have got their own sort of trip out built in. So we've got an armoured cable going all the way up the garden to the shed, and obviously goes to the fuse box in the house, but I believe that was done a long time ago, and if you do it now, I think you have to put a fuse box, a sort of mini fuse box, inside the shed itself. So this is kind of in place of that, just to make it a little bit safer. You get these from Screwfix. I'll stick it up on screen how much they are, and maybe put a link in the description, but we got all the sockets in the shed changed over to those. Just thought I'd mention that in case anyone's interested, and you'll be pleased to hear it wasn't me that was actually messing with the wiring, which is probably for the best, although got a little bit of destruction to tidy up. So we'll do that, and let's have a look back over at Kidderminster at what else I've been doing. Oh, it's gone again. So I watched the last sort of sequence back, just to remind me where I'd got to in terms of explaining what I'd done, and it's amazing what you spot back on film that you don't actually see looking at it. So I have noticed that those chimney stacks were wonky, if you spotted that on the last clip, and there's also a gap, isn't there, under here between the buildings, so I'll sort that out and realign the chimney so everything's back to how it was. But yeah, it's actually quite good filming things. You spot a lot of stuff that you sort of miss, where you always stand in one place and look at it from one angle. So we got the zebra crossing stuck down. I don't think much else has changed around there. I think the main thing since last time is the platform has now been built, which I'm going to say again, this is the final platform, although I guess it depends what I do over here. I don't think for sort of version 1, I don't think I'm going to put the sort of museum, which is here. I'm not going to put that in because I want to get version 1 finished pretty soon, or as soon as I can really. So I think I'm just going to blank this off and somehow make this track not part of the scenery, just sort of box it off. But that's for the future. As I say, I've done this platform now, and luckily had some of the Pico fencing left. So the actual platform bit will be there, and then the fence will go up here to this gate, and we've got the wall that will now come along this line here. So I forgot to bring it up. I have printed off some more tarmac, so we'll cover that bit up, and also this bit, and yeah, stick this wall along here with the fence. So yeah, a little bit more done. Let's carry on and do some more. And once again spotted that chimney pot was out of alignment, so straightened it up again. Hopefully it stays there this time. You can see a lot's changed on the car park, but first I have been raiding all my existing sort of bits of scenery and old little buildings from Bodenham Woods that were salvaged, and I've completed the little scene here with some of the old buildings from Bodenham Woods, and also over there is in fact a little building there, so yeah, recycling some of the old buildings. The main one being next to the goods shed. There's actually a building that's a lot more run down than this, but I might sort of weather that down eventually. But for now, that is actually the back of the station building from Bodnam Woods. So it's getting a second life on there. If you look at the front of it, it looks a bit daft because it is a GWR style sort of station building, but we can disguise that. I kind of like the fact that it's getting another lease of life over there. We've had some more supplies. So for the station fencing, I used this, I think I said Pico earlier, it's ratio 245, the spear fencing, and there is another one which will probably be 244 or 246, which is like ramp, you know, sort of angled fences and gates and so on. But yeah, got some more of that. They seem to have changed the packaging since last time, which is very smart. So we got some more of that, and a bit of an eBay special, this from a seller called 3D Prints and Supplies. I took a bit of a punt on this 3D printed security fence, and I don't know how close I can get in, but it's actually really good. It's really fine. So yeah, I'm very impressed with that. We've got some gates for that as well. So the grey security fencing is like the fencing around here, and I'm sure there'll be other places where I can use that as well. So yeah, just go on to eBay and search for Engage security fencing. That will probably come up from 3D Prints and Supplies. It took a little while to turn up, but now it has. It's yeah, I'm really impressed with it. So where have we got to with the car park? Try and give you a nice bird's eye view of it. I've obviously been doing a bit of drawing, and I'm really pleased with the vast majority of it. Just been using my trusty acrylic paint pens and a ruler, and sort of adapting what's really there on the Kidderminster car park at the Kidderminster station. Right from the start, I said I didn't want to just have a model that's mostly a car park. So if I'd have done this car park to scale as to what's really there, it'd be a lot wider. I think the length is pretty much there to scale, but yeah, I deliberately didn't want a model railway that was mostly car park. So I've had to sort of adapt the sort of markings a bit and try and figure out a layout that gives the impression, but is not the actual real one. So you do have a lot of sort of angled spaces in the car park, and you have some disabled spaces, and you have the arrows. I'm quite pleased with. It's just the Scale Scenes Roads and Pavements kit, and the roads page has some arrows. As you can see, I've literally just cut those out with a scalpel and glued them down, and you can't really tell that they're a little bit raised. So yeah, need some more arrows. Need to put in the security fence here. There will be a footbridge here. I'm thinking not worry too much how close it is to the real thing. I'm just going to buy an N-gauge footbridge kit and build it. Keep it simple, keep it fun, and not sort of agonise over whether it looks exactly like the Kidderminster footbridge, at least for version 1 of the layout, because as you can see there's not much. It's just this little triangle here that doesn't have some kind of coverage of scenery. So I reckon if I finish off these markings and finish off this fencing, we're not too far off version 1 scenery being done. And then, as I said in the last video, I think it's on to sort of making sure all the points work and running some trains and getting the track nice and well cleaned off and reliable. So yeah, it'd be good to get have a break from scenery for a while and do a lot more running of trains, maybe even buy a new loco or two, although I do start looking and then the prices do seem a little bit eye-watering at the moment. But yeah, I'll carry on with the markings and fences and give you another little update. Right, gonna leave it there for this update, I think. I'll just show you where we're up to as an overview. I've got a little bit of a surprise in the car park that I'll show you. Obviously got fencing, more parking spaces. Yeah, we're going to need some more cars. Security fencing. So yeah, and even some people. So let's get down and have a look at the details. So we've got the security fence with the gate at that end. We've got some little details here, some sack trucks. And basically dug out anything that could possibly be used from my spares. We've got a lot of people to put down. They are quite painstaking because they keep falling over. And we've got pylons, that's a letterbox I think, some pallets that need painting and gas bottles and so on. So lots of little detailing things, tree armature, and I found a couple of signs off of Bodenham Woods. I got some people over here at the Kidderminster station. I had a sort out of my cars that were all just parked over at Arley. I'm not sure what these are. They look very American, although that's an old Ford, isn't it? But yeah, it wouldn't really be seen there. It's unlikely. The transit van's fine, and the taxi, and that's a new Discovery. But those 4 over there are not really suitable. So yeah, we go. I'm going to need some more cars. Put the Stobart HGV up there. I think that post box is new as well. And while we're over here, this just turned up in the post. Decided to go for the ratio footbridge and just build that. And you don't even, by the looks of it, have to paint it, because all the bits are already coloured plastic. So I mean, obviously you can if you want to, but I think for now I'll just build this. Might do a separate video on this, building this. And what we can do while we're here is 2 things. When I corrected myself earlier and said I said Pico and I meant ratio, well, it seems that Pico owns ratio, so it didn't really matter anyway. But the span between the columns is 93mm, and confession time, I did forget to check. So it looks like we're alright. It's got to go about here. So 93mm is about there. and it's perfect. That's a relief. And we'll finish over at the station building at Kidderminster with what seems to be the Morris Owners Club have set up for the day, and a cheeky Mini has also snuck in at the end. So yeah, I thought that looked good. They often do that with sort of displays of steamrollers or whatever, so that's quite in keeping. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Made a bit of progress. I'll continue on with the detailing and get that last bit of scenery covered up. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.